Okay. Is it moving now? Yes. Seems to be working now. Hopefully, this this is going to work. This is now take 2 of the second Refashionista recharge. I really, really hope that everybody is going to rejoin. We shall see what's going to happen. Hopefully, people are going to rejoin. I'm not quite sure how this is going to all work because when you close a YouTube stream, you have to start a whole new one, which is kind of annoying. You can't just keep that same link. So I'm not really sure. Hmm, what is going to happen here? We shall see if anybody is going to join this one or not. Um, hopefully, we'll see. There's going to be some people joining. If I can see my little toggle there going up at all. But as I was saying at the start of the other one, once again, I have my lovely little jar here, and in this little jar, I have my top comments of this week. And once I get them all read, they go into this jar so I can read them all at the end of the year and put them into maybe one of my amazing vintage photo albums that I have in my stash. But if you are here, yes, please say hello. And let's make sure everybody can hear me this time. My microphone is now in the green, so it should be working. I think it was just an issue on YouTube, but definitely please give me a thumbs up or let me know if you can hear me. Thank you so much. Hello, Acer. Yeah. Hello, Catherine. Yes, good to know that you are here and we finally got it working. I don't know what that was, but I got it figured out in the end. I just hope it's never gonna happen again because I was oh, my anxiety was going crazy with that. But now we can finally get started reading the comments. How am I today? Well, we will get to that momentarily. The first comment I have here is from Dawn 8752. And I don't know if it's Dawn L or Dawn capital I. Let's go with Dawn L. And she says, "Am I the only one who thinks her voice sounds like Betty White? That's a good thing, IMHO, in my humble opinion." I love that comment so much because Betty White, of course, is a hero of mine, and she's just the awesomest. And here's a fun fact: I'm actually older right now than Betty White was when she started doing the Golden Girls. That's crazy. That's so crazy to me that so many of us are now older than the Golden Girls that we used to watch on our TVs in, the 80s in our childhood. That's that's very I don't know, it's interesting. It's an interesting little factoid. I was also told a lot when I was younger that I resembled Lucille Ball, and I never saw it, but I guess a lot of boomers actually told me that, and I think it was more because of my facial expressions because I couldn't really hide my my facial expressions, and I got a lot of facial expressions. Oh, by the way, these are those lovely glasses that I embellished in my 30 days of refashions. I actually had something here as well, but I had to take it off because I kept like looking at it. I could see it and my eyes kept just automatically going there to look at it. And I also made these ones too. And how adorable is that with the little flowers? These are the ones they actually sit by my sewing machine, and these are the ones I wear when I'm sewing. But yeah, tutorials in the 30 days of refashions index there. And I mean, they're lasting. So great. Make some for yourself. It's very, very easy. All right. Next comment we have is from Bisou Magique. And they say, oh, this was a question where on my community post tab, I had asked, what is something that you've had in your wardrobe for years? And they answered a turquoise baby doll top from when I was like 4 or 5, around 2010 to 2011. They're a golden girl again. The design is probably a bit cringy in 2025, and I'm practically 19 now, but I'm so attached to it. Haha. Well, bisous magique. Absolutely, that is wonderful to have things that you had in your childhood. It's something so special. Like, I always mix myself up here. Ah, there we go. You see this right here? This is actually a piece of a pillowcase, and you can see it says my name on it. I made that when I was 4 years old with my grandma, and there was something way back then, this would have been in the late '70s, actually, and it was called, it was like a puff paint, and you had to, like, pump the back of these really I just remember the marker pens were so big, but you pumped the end, and then you could draw on fabric and wash the fabric, and I'm pretty sure they don't make those anymore. That was like 1970s technology, but there's something that I still have from when I was very young, and that's like pretty much the only thing I have. So, yeah, sentimental things, if you can hold on to them, absolutely do, because the older you get, the more you kind of wish you had those things, especially if you have anyone in your life that you would like to pass them down to eventually one day. All right, next comment. Um, this one is from Janine Kelly, and oh, it was the same comment or same post. So she has a silk blouse from 30 years ago, and she writes, "It was the first posh thing I ever bought." And when I read that, I just love that so much because I also remember the first posh thing I ever bought was a blouse, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever because it was like a lurex silver disco blouse from the 1970s, and I scrimped and saved up all of my pennies to buy this from, back then they weren't called vintage stores, but I got it from this funky vintage store, and I just loved that thing to death, and I wore it all the time until it pretty much fell apart because Lurex doesn't really stay for very long, does it? If you wash it a lot. Okay, oh, this one here was on my DIY upcycled monsters video, and Piper Mahan, I'm sorry if I said your last name wrong, writes, "I know this is an older video, but I searched on how to make a scrappy monster and your video popped up. Thank you for sharing. They're super cute and I can't wait to make one." Thank you, Piper, for that lovely, like, lovely comment, because sometimes I even forget. I have shared so many tutorials over the years. Sometimes I forget what I actually have on my blog and on my channel. And when comments come up on older videos, it's great because it reminds me that, "Oh, yeah, I made that cool thing." And actually, I think I still have the monsters. Just let me go grab them so I can show you. Okay. So, I have this one. This was made clearly out of some denim scraps, and these are so simple to make. And I have this guy as well, and I love using these collars that are chopped from shirts and just putting them on, my lovely monsters. They're just so much fun to make, and they're so simple, and again, the tutorial is free on my channel, so why wouldn't you do it? Look at this one. So this here is from an old scarf, and now it's her really funky hair, and seriously, they're just so much fun to make, and look, you can even make little fingers if you want, And I can show you the very first monster I ever made. And I made this one, of course, when I was still living in Germany and I was still learning the sewing machine. And where can I show here? Here, does that work? Yes. Okay. So this here, I was trying to make it look like a sock monkey, but it didn't really work. I'm not really sure what happened with the mouth here, but this was my very first attempt, and I still have him, and he's pretty cool. And to see if you can hear this. Maybe yes, maybe no. This is rice. I put here because I wanted the little ears to kind of hang down, so I weighted it down with rice. So this is really old rice. I made this guy in 2011 or 12 actually. So he's pretty old, but I still have him. And again, that's just more proof that the things that you make yourself, you can make them as high quality or low quality as you want, and they really do it stands the test of time, right? I mean, clearly, this moved internationally, and it's also moved 4 or 5 times since I returned to Canada as well, and he's still awesome and going strong, although, they've had to get hidden now because my dog Skelly loved those guys, and I had them up on a shelf just over there, and he would just sit very patiently and then start howling when I wouldn't give him my monsters. Okay, another little trip down memory lane there, right? Okay, so, and I think, yes, this is the last comment. So, from Hole's Kitchen Canada, they say, "Girl, Gurl, girl, you're a force for good. I'm learning how to sew this winter as an oldster with your encouragement." Well, Hole's Kitchen Canada, thank you so much, girl. And I too am an oldster. And I also, taught myself how to sew when I was an oldster, right? Like 38 isn't young. And I know I keep repeating this, but it is so important to keep repeating that I was 38 years old when I taught myself how to sew. So, again, if I can do this, anybody can do this. And I realize not everybody has a brain like mine that's just blah, 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 and never ever stops and can look at anything and figure out a way to make it into something else. I get that. But that's why I'm here, because I make all of these hundreds of tutorials for just about anything for free. Give them to you for free so you can do this yourself. I want to empower everybody to do this. And that's why it's super frustrating to me too when people say, "Oh, I can't." Yes, you freaking can. Yes, you can. Nobody says you have to get the most expensive sewing machine or serger and dive in head first. I don't even have a serger. I'm scared to use a serger. And you can start with all of my hundreds of no-sew tutorials. Nothing has to be difficult. I wasn't nearly at the skill level I am now back in 2011 when I started doing this. Of course not. But from 38 to 52 and doing this pretty much every single day, like it's my job, right? Like, so definitely with practice you get better and better and better. But that's again the beauty of refashioning is there's no rules. Nobody says, "Oh, you have to use a blanket stitch," or "You have to use this sewing machine foot," or "You have to use, this specific type of fabric." No, do whatever the heck you want to do. And that is what is so much fun about refashioning. Speaking of refashioning, I will show you my jumpsuit because I made this. I don't know if I can get in the. You'll say, "Oh, and I have a belt and la." So that jumpsuit, this jumpsuit that I'm wearing, I made in I think 2013 or 2014. And it was just a really frumpy top and skirt set that I made into a one-piece jumpsuit with a belt. And I put the link, I think it's in this description box, to where you can go learn how to do a bunch of different jumpsuits and dresses and this exact one if you want to know how you can get a frumpy top and skirt and make it into a jumpsuit. So that's linked down below. What else? What else? Oh, right. You asked how I was doing. Well, today I'm a little bit frazzled because, um, I'm not a wealthy person by any stretch of the imagination. And even though I'm ranked pretty high on YouTube, I mean, the money I get from YouTube doesn't even cover one bill. So it's not, I wish it did, but it doesn't. So, in order to, make up money for paying bills, I had to do, or I'm doing another clinical trial. And for those of you who don't know or maybe missed that video, I didn't link it. I will link it down below where I explain all about what that is, but maybe you can see here on my arm. Yeah, you can see here where they were sucking all of my blood for the past couple of days. And so I got home today, and then I have to go this evening, and then two more returns the next 2 mornings. And yeah, it's unfortunate that we live in such dystopian times now, that in order to, literally just survive, I have to do this, which is, I mean, and again, I'm not the only one there. There's lots of lots of other people doing the same thing. We're all in this same dystopian, hellscape, which is horrible. Um, but yeah, it's not really the most fun thing to do. And again, it's a little bit painful and everything, but you got to do what you got to do. And so I would also like to know, what is everybody doing nowadays to make ends meet? Because at least where I am in the world, it's is it worth it? Is it worth it financially? It depends. Sometimes it is, but again, my rent is like $2,700 a month. That's a lot of money, and then all bills and everything else comes on top of that. So clearly, if I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't do this. But by doing it, it does make up, money that is missing. And again, unfortunately, as a 52-year-old woman, nobody will hire me for a normal type of job. It doesn't matter how many languages I speak or how much experience I have. I don't know. I've been applying for normal jobs since we moved to Canada in 2017, and my opportunity that I had, the entire reason for moving to my home country from Europe was, taken away after 3 months because they sold the company to an American company. So I didn't have any recourse, which is terrible. But yeah, yes, I also you know I have so many different things going on. Of course, so many different things under my Refashionista umbrella here. So I'm just waiting for something to hit the wall and stick enough so then I don't have to do these clinical trials anymore. Um, yeah, I sell on Poshmark, and then I also do, direct sales with my Refashionista boxes. But that's the unfortunate thing, and I think I mentioned this in my last live, is because of the ridiculousness that's going on in America. I because it's just the prices have skyrocketed. So something that used to cost, say, between 11 and $30 to send, like with tracking to the States, is now well over $100 for the same thing. And then probably on the receiving end, they could be hit with 250 to 450 in charges and stuff, which it's just not worth it. And yeah, so that's pretty awful. So, what's going on in the States is horrible, and it's literally affecting the entire world. Um, yeah, yeah, hopefully, Catherine, hopefully at some point, hopefully it's going to end and things can go back to relative normalcy, hopefully. Um, oh, speaking of relative normalcy, what about if I show you some of the very cool things that I have laid out here on my desk to talk about how easy refashioning truly is, right? Hello. Oh, Skelly is here. Yes, you can say hello. So can everybody see? There's my boy. um, Hi, buddy. He Skelly is a mastador, so he's a mastiff and Labrador mix. And you see, look what he's doing. He's going right for these monsters. Like I said, I have to hide them away. Those aren't yours, buddy. Come over here. There you go. Good boy. Okay. So something that I think is so cool to now he wants all of the stuff on my desk. Okay. It's really like having a toddler again, isn't it? This. So something that I find so simple to make, and I know we all have these somewhere in our house, in our stash, and that is neckties, right? And this is also something that's getting to be crazy expensive in the thrift and charity shops. And I don't understand why. It's like an old necktie they try to sell for like $27.99. It's like polyester. Anyway, so something you can do is if you put them together like this, you have just made yourself an amazing wrap belt. And I can show you here. You can, whoops, la la, whoops, wrap it around like that. And it's, like a very cool wrap belt. Hello, Anna. Yeah, it's exactly, yes, with the packages to go across the border. They literally aren't even allowing them across the border unless you have a crazy amount of paperwork that was done. I had to stop, as I said, that part of my business, and which is very unfortunate. But because first Canada Post went on strike, and so I said, okay, I'm going to go to UPS, and UPS had literally like a stack of forms like this thick for me to fill out, and it's like, look, it's just some stuff that I made. It's nothing super amazing, like it's not diamond jewelry or anything. And they said, yeah, well, that it is what it is, and there's no guarantee that they would even let it go through the customs, like on the US side, which is, oh, cuckoo bananas. Anyway, um yeah, exactly, Anna. We still can sell to other countries. Exactly. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, the US is our main audience, right? And yeah, so it is unfortunate, but like Catherine said, hopefully, fingers and toes and everything crossed, we'll get through this at some point in the nearer future, let's hope. But okay, let's get back to we'll be more positive now. um, but like, look at this. Look at this one. How adorable is that? And I mean, these also make the cutest and quirkiest little gifts as well, because all you're doing is putting two neckties together. And you can say, I mean, it's not like I sewed that here so absolutely perfectly or anything, right? But like, who cares? You're wrapping it around your body. And you can make those kind of things so easily. And again, we have the holidays coming up, right? Of course we do. So, and again, none of us have any money. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, at least they can't charge you for just watching online yet. Let's hope that doesn't come eventually. Um, but with the holidays coming up, I really want to show you got everybody how easy it is to use what you have to make what you want, use or make what you want to give even. And for the past couple of years I did the 12 days of thriftmas, so I'm probably going to do something along those lines again this year. And that's the 12 days of thriftmas, exactly what it sounds like, where every day I will share a new tutorial, kind of like I did for my 30 days of refashions, but it's all going to be thriftmas themed, of course. Something else that requires zero sewing. Oh, I forgot to say that as well. For these necktie wrap belts. How cool is this one? That's very vintage neckties there. And this was super wide too. You don't even have to sew these. You can use fabric glue and they should stay together for quite a while. I mean, especially like who's washing belts? You don't wash belts that often, right? Um, so something else you can make that is so simple are, of course, my DIY belt bags, right? And these are so easy. And again, no sewing whatsoever. You just need a little makeup bag, and you can see there, I just put like a little hole or two holes. What- Sorry. It's like a mirror for me here. And yeah, then you just slide your belt through, and you have this very cool belt bag. And if you can take it off too, right? Nothing, thank you, Denise. Nothing nothing is sewn. So if you want to switch out your bags, like I think these kind of makeup bags, which we all have, right? I mean, especially we of the feminine persuasion, usually get some kind of gift, speaking of the holidays, that, has stuff in here, right? Like, or you get sampley stuff. Well, do you anymore, really? But you used to get cool samples and stuff in these kind of bags. But the ones that I find work the best are the ones that have, like, you see, this has like a fabric lining. So then you just going to cut it here on the outside vinyl. You're not going to be cutting through the interior fabric at all. And I've made so many of these over the years because they really do make the easiest gifts ever. And again, like, look, you just slide that through there. Too easy. And it's actually like a two-in-one gift, right? It's a bag and a belt. And then you can even put stuff in here. Depending on the sturdiness of your vinyl on the outside, I don't recommend putting heavy stuff in there because it can just rip right through. But I mean, it's great for just bumming around, or you throw your phone in and, your bank cards. More than enough. It's more than enough. Um, Another one that I'm particularly proud of, and I made this one, just gonna try to sneak it over. I made this one, I think, in 2016 or 17. It was a while ago. And it is this one. How awesome is that bag? And again, no sewing. This was, you see, just like another kind of plasticky vinyl bag. And sorry, I don't know if you can hear Skelly, my dog, is upstairs playing like a maniac. Um, but I just took a bunch of faux flowers and I literally just hot glued them on here. That's it. I just hot glued them on. And it opens there, right? And there we go. That's it. And the strap was really kind of falling apart and really manky. So I just took some of this trim and I glued it all the way around the strap. That took the longest to do. But how cool does that look now? That's just the most adorable thing ever. And so from a bag that was like in the garbage, it now is this. And it's been like this for almost a decade. And it's totally fine. So, like I said at the beginning, you can so easily make things that are going to last and last and last. And you don't have to worry about the quality because you made it yourself. And you don't have to worry about wasting money because you're using something from the garbage, right? Or something you already have and just sticking stuff on it. Like it's very easy. This here I made in 2013, this bag. And if you've been with me for a while, you should remember what this is. This and the other side here was the tops of two boots that I cut. And then, of course, this is just a necktie for the strap. Like very easy. And it's again lasted for years and years. So, cut up a pair of boots and, you know, yeah, exactly, Denise. It is 100 billion% about using your imagination and the process. And I mean, I say it all the time, right? Like, refashioning is the most brilliant thing ever because nothing has to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of good enough. You make it up as you go along. And I think if you've watched any of my tutorials, you 100% know I'm just making shit up as I go along. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. I have something up here, and then I think, "Oh, I can if I take this and I take this and I go this and do this, then hopefully it's gonna work." And then what you see in my videos, the result that you actually it's I really am making it as I'm filming it. I have my camera there on my table, and there's so many times where I ha I'll have to do a video where I show you my whole process, but I have my hands like this, right? And I go verbally, 1, 2, 3. And that's where I know when I'm editing, I cut there because then I start saying, like, "Today is quick and easy video, blah, 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 blah." And there's so many times where I start saying something and I totally mess it up, and sometimes I leave that in there and sometimes I don't. I mean, it's rarely on, the first take that that I do something, and there's been more than a few times too where, again, like I said, I just leave it in the video if I cut something wrong or whatever because nothing ever has to be perfect, ever. I mean, nothing. Like, this is a perfect example. This bag, and again, all of these tutorials I'm showing you, they're on my channel for free. You can find them, in, like, these clearly in the bags, playlist, and the other stuff is in, I think it's, like, accessories and footwear, I think is the name of the playlist. Um, this was 2 knit placemats that I got for 99 cents at the thrift shop, and it's now an adorable bag, and this, what I use for the strap, and you can see there, I literally just stitched it or to each of the placemats here. This was from a sweater that my daughter had when I think she was, like, 3 years old, and she's 14 now, so that's, like, it sat in my stash for more than a few years, and now it's this adorable bag, right? And for the top part here, like, I just sewed this button on to close it up, but you can see, I mean, it's not, I didn't line it or anything because this is not the kind of a bag that you wouldn't use this every single day, right? It's not like an everyday purse. It's if you have an outfit that fits with this, like a nice spring floral pink dress or something, that would be perfect. But you never have to you never have to buy anything. So Denise, you have a pair of old green corduroy pants you want to transform into a bag. Of course, I have a tutorial for that. Um, and I'm just trying to think if it's on my channel or if it's on my blog because I I started my channel a couple of years after I had already been blogging on my blog, blogging on my blog. Yeah. So if you go to my blog, which is awesomesauceashattery.com, there's actually even more tutorials over there because I was blogging for like 2 years before I started my channel, and for whatever reason, as one single person, I had gotten it into my head that I had to be posting at least 3 times a week, so I was just cranking out the posts and, not realizing that, oh, other people, they have like a team working on their blog. They're not just one person, but I always just been a one woman show. It's just me. Every single thing that you see anywhere from like my channel, my blog, my courses, my shops, my anything, it's just me, baby. I do everything from designing to filming to every single thing. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be worth it eventually. And thanks to you, wonderful fellow refashionistas out there who like my stuff and share it and comment and all of that good stuff. The algorithm is slowly but surely grabbing it and feeding it out to more people. So keep it up, please, because it is working. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Um, so, Denise, I will, after this, I will go to my blog and I will put in the description box, I will put the links to a few tutorials for you. Okay? Okay. So then you don't have to go searching because there's a lot over there. I think it's like almost like 2,000 posts. Everything is very well organized because that's just who I am. There's lots of different indexes and sub indexes, but I'll see what I can find. Okay, here's another one that this one is on my channel, or these ones, because it was a 2-for-1 tutorial. And again, it has to do with makeup bags and free. So this, la la, look at that. How cool is that? I got this bag from a free market. I don't know if you have those in your part of the world. Let me know if you do. And that's basically, it's not even a swap. I keep going the wrong way. It's not even like a swap. You just show up there, and if you want to take stuff to, put on the tables for other people to enjoy, you can, but you don't have to. And here they have in Toronto the really, really free market. And there's a couple others. You just have to search for Free Market Toronto. And I think there's 2 or 3 that run regularly. But that's where I got this. And this strap was from a Halloween costume that I'd made for my kiddo in like 2018 or something. She was one of the descendants. And if you know Disney's Descendants, they were very cool at one point, not anymore. So I have to be clear on this. She doesn't think they're cool anymore, but she did at one point anyway. So that's what this was from, that costume. And yeah, I had this. What is that called? Grommet? Yes, I had this very old grommet kit, and this was the first time I had ever used it, and look how successful that was. Just like an old makeup bag, and then I just put, a couple of, wires in there, and now it's a very cool purse, and it's a cool purse that if I want to, I can switch out the straps, you know? So, very cool. Nothing has to be difficult. And again, no sewing for this. I just used a hammer and the grommets. Too easy. This one, I mean, how cool is that? That's a fancy one. This was, again, a makeup bag, and this belt, I don't even remember where I got it, but I know I didn't pay for it, wherever it's from. And for this, can you see how I did that? I just stitched a couple of buttons to the back of the bag, and then I fed the buttons through the links here. And so I can actually take this off and still use it as a belt, or I can put the bag on anywhere I want to put it on there. So again, it's 100%, you know, just your imagination. Like Denise said, it's totally about the process and digging in your own mind and just out of the box thinking, I guess, right? And that's something that is so important that we all really, I think most of we refashionistas have probably been doing our whole lives, right? Is just looking at things and seeing them in a totally different way, which is such a cool talent to have, right? It really is. And something that apparently not everybody can do. And I didn't know that. I really thought from when I was like a little kid and, building stuff out of toothpicks and whatever, I thought everybody could do this. I really did. And it wasn't actually until I was like just a couple of years ago when I won that game show I won Battle of the Generations. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, this Gen X won the Lily Sing game show, and I have a whole playlist on my channel of like the behind the scenes and me on the show. And anyway, go check that out. It's Battle of the Generations, and I won. Uh, but it wasn't until I was filming that show and the host of that show, Lily Singh, said to me like, "Oh my, look at Sheri with the visual brain," or whatever she said, because every time I was answering a question, I was talking out my answer, and literally seeing it in my head, and I never thought of that was something that yeah, I guess that's I do that all the time, right? Does anybody else do that? Like, if you're for example, a really easy thing, like a shopping list. I don't think of a shopping list in my brain and as, like, words. See the products. Does anybody else do that? Or am I weird? I don't know. But again, this is just something that I think a lot of people actually do, who are, a little bit, on the spectrum, a little bit, perhaps. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, sorry, yes, I think you are an artist. Well, thank you so much. Um, I beg to differ. Again, I just like I said, I just see stuff in my head and then I just make what I see. That's it. And I think again, the fact that now at this time in 2025 and even, from 2011 when I started, we can so easily connect with each other. Like I said, for literally almost my whole life, I thought I was the biggest weirdo. And it's such a great feeling to know that, there's other people in the world like me who think like me and who want to refashion and remake and upcycle and use the stuff that already exists in the world, to make things. And yes, being weird is beautiful, Denise. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just I think it's actually weird when people don't do this. That's what I find weird when people are going to the mall and doing huge clothing hauls or even going to the thrift store, right, and doing a huge clothing haul. That's weird to me because we all have so much crap in our houses and it doesn't it doesn't matter how big or small your house is. And yeah, Catherine, I 100%. It can verge into hoarder territory for sure. But I always think as long as it's organized, and you're still able to, like, vacuum your house once a week, like every Saturday morning is my time since this is from when I was a child and I had to clean the whole house every Saturday when I was a kid. And that just stuck with me, which I hate, but I have a very clean house. And so I always think that if I can, as long as I can vacuum and dust and keep everything tidy and everything has a place, it's not hoarding at all, right? There are times though where yes, you have to put your foot down for your own self and say, "I don't need any more vintage dresses," but I do. And if you've seen any of my, videos from up in my bedroom, which I do most of my intro and outros from up in my bedroom beside my wardrobe that I made out of an old ladder. It's there's a lot of vintage dresses there, and that's my kryptonite is vintage dresses. And I'm pretty sure it comes from the fact that when I was a kid, I wasn't ever allowed to have the clothes I wanted or buy like the stuff I wanted really, and I think then as I got older and, of course, I was young when I left home and everything, I just started collecting these beautiful vintage dresses and I never stopped. And so I have so many that I've built a whole wardrobe just for them. So and it's not even like that I love wearing them all the time because of course I don't. I mean, I'm very introverted and the most I do is, I take my dog for a walk, and it's also like I'm super poor, so it's not like I can get dressed up and go somewhere, but, sometimes I do wear my lovely dresses to take my dog for a walk, but other than that, I like to touch them, I like to look at them, I like to enjoy them, basically, and I think that is something as well that's really important too, that we creatives have to keep in mind that we don't kind of go overboard when you kind of think really good example. Looking over there at my filming and work table, there's a lot of empty toilet rolls over there right now. And that is I have a plan though, and that's something I'm gonna be doing for my 12 days of Thriftmas this year. So I have to have them, right? Because I have to have them so I can film the video for you. So that is what I'm telling myself in my brain. And it's not cluttering up. They're all neat and tidy on my table. So it's okay. It's okay. As long as you can walk around your house, you have enough space for a vacuum, it's not full of dust and mold and grossness, you're fine. You're not a hoarder at all. It's okay. I give you permission. Um, what else? Oh, yes, I had some notes here that I wanted to talk about. Okay. So first thing, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes on my channel, but every single day now when I check my comments, right? Because I try to respond to comments all the time. And there's a lot in the back end, of course, there's a section for held comments, and that is where the comments automatically get held. But for some reason, so many comments are being held there, and I don't even know, I don't understand why. There's no reason. Like the troll comments and like the perverted comments, yes, please hold those comments. But I don't understand why so many pleasant comments are getting held. So just FYI, in the future, if you write a comment and you hit, enter and it immediately disappears, fear not. It probably, for whatever reason, some some glitch in YouTube or something is going on right now, but it just probably got sent to the held comments, and I do check those every day, and I will release it. So don't worry if that happens to you. Don't keep typing the comment thinking that it's something going wrong. It's just for whatever reason YouTube is, I don't know, cracking down on any comment. Maybe the algorithm doesn't quite understand the difference between something pleasant and something awful yet. I'm not sure. I don't know. But speaking of the algorithm, that mysterious algorithm that nobody really understands, it really does help if like, if you can even dislike. I mean, it does help. Any sort of engagement really tells that algorithm to push it out, which is why I'm not sure if anybody else noticed this, but I did start having my word of the video to encourage more people to comment just even that word. And I'm very happy to say it's working because even for myself, of course, I watch YouTube. I watch mostly true crime on YouTube. That's something else it's quite funny to me. I often get comments asking like, "Oh, do you watch this um DIY person or that, sewing channel?" And I'm again, I do not watch other DIY channels, sewing channels. I don't, because this is like my job. So if you think about what your job is, you wouldn't go home after work and then sit and watch a show about your job. Right? Like you're kind of, you want to unwind at that point. And for me, I unwind with true crime mostly. But I think a lot of women actually enjoy true crime because it tells us the things that we need to do, right? If we're ever in those situations. But okay, so we got the held comments out of the way. Um, in my back behind the scenes on YouTube, I have like all of my analytics and statistics, and I am actually in there's sorry, my brain was getting ahead of my mouth again. It happens. Okay, so right now, there are over 115 million active YouTube channels. And by active, it means that the channel is posting at least once a week, right? And of that over 115 million, I am ranked in the 2 millionth area of that. So that's huge. That's like, "What? I couldn't believe that." Um, I should be making a crap load more money than I think, but I mean, that's like that's excellent, and so that means I'm actually in the 1.74% of YouTube channels, which it's pretty mind-boggling when you think about it, like, it's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So, pat myself on the back and pat you on the back too, because again, without you, I wouldn't be where I am, which, is slowly but surely getting there, right? Which is very cool. And what else did I want to say? So, oh, you again, my brain is starting to slow down. You can tell I didn't really sleep for the past 2 days, right, in that clinical trial, because my brain is going blah, 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 and my mouth is like, "No, we're gonna stop just, glitching here." Um, my grandma actually used to say that I had sometimes diarrhea of the brain and constipation of the mouth, which I think explains it very well. Actually, when your brain is going, but your mouth goes, "No, you know, glitching, basically. In in modern terms, I guess it would be glitching. Okay. So, because I think I am, you know, that's like a crazy good statistic, but like I said, I mean, the behind the scenes, it doesn't translate to the income there, which is quite crazy when you think about 115 million and I'm in the 2 millionth. That's wow. But again, it's all those little drips and drabs of pennies that you get from YouTube, right? So it's not like the big money. I think most of the larger creators, they get the bulk of their money from, the sponsorships and all of that kind of thing, which I wish I would get more of those, but number 1, I'm super picky about who I'm gonna work with because I'm all about sustainability and reusing, and so I'm not gonna partner with, like, H&M or, some fast fashion place, and trust me, I get emails in my inbox every single day from those type of companies, and it's, like, they're like, "Oh, we love what you do," and blah it's like, "Dude, do you not know what I do?" I mean, on my blog, I actually have a whole section with so many articles I wrote about sustainable fashion, ethical fashion, garment worker rights, and I actually have a story about H&M and them threatening to take me to court, but I think we'll do that next Sunday because I'm gonna have to go soon because I have to go back for my for another blood draw. So um anyway, but if you want to have even more wonderful refashionista Sheri content and behind the scenes and all of that kind of stuff, absolutely become a member of my channel. Membership starts at 99 cents and then 1.99 and then 4.99. And each of those tiers, there's a full explanation about what each of those tiers entails and what you get every month. And we're starting to have quite a nice little community behind the scenes there, which is just wonderful. Like Catherine, thank you so much. And Catherine will tell you when you join, I create a lovely little welcome illustration for you that you can then download if you want and have. So that's one of the perks. And you also get your name in the credits of all of my tutorial videos, which is another perk. And you also, there's just, I mean, again, you have to go read all the different perks that you get. But something that I was working out when I saw this behind the scenes that I'm, 2 millionth, whatever, was that if just 6%, that's it, 6% of my 2-day subscribers, like every day, my channel is growing every day. But if only 6% of the subscribers would do my 99-cent tier, then I wouldn't have to do clinical trials to be able to pay my bills. So that would be fabulous. So spread that far and wide. Go join Sheri's channel. And even if you don't want to join my channel, please do, like and share and subscribe and all of those good things. So the videos get pushed out more because it truly is like my life's mission to get more people using what they have to make what they want and to really, really change the way people think about upcycling and secondhand. And when you think about all of the stuff that we already have in our closets and how truly easy it is to make it into something else. And I mean, just today, all the different things I showed you, it's barely any sewing. So much of it was no sewing. And like I said, on my channel, how many free no sew tutorials do I have? Like so many. Or I don't even think any of my tutorials are that difficult, right? For sewing. It's mostly like, can you sew a straight line? Yeah, me too. Let's do this. It's very, very easy to do. Um, I think the hardest things that I have ever done were like using, oh, that was a loud sound outside. Sorry, it caught me off guard. Using like the rolled hem foot. I've mastered that now, but at the time it was really hard. Uh, but other than that, I truly don't think that this is difficult at all. And even if, like I said before, if you don't have an imagination like mine, even better, use my imagination, right? That's why I do this, because I just have too many ideas going in my brain all at the same time. And I always wish there was more hours in a day so I could get more stuff out there into the world and shared, because my brain's not going to stop ever, which I think is a really good thing too, because I'm always thinking and I'm always creating. I'm going to be sharp as a tack even when I'm over 100 years old. I think I'll still be doing this. I'll still be doing this, trying to teach everybody how to use what they have to make what they want. But I really hope you enjoyed this Refashionista recharge now that we got it sorted out from the first one. And I think I figured out what I have to do for the next time. I just really have to make sure that everything is connected properly and my microphone line is green. So we'll do better next time. But I'm going to be doing this every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you have anything specific that you want me to talk about, just leave a comment on this video and I will talk about it. If you have any particular tutorials that you're interested in, let me know. And Denise, I will go to my blog and put those in the description box for you. And I think for this Refashionista recharge, we covered a lot. And until next time, thank you so much for being here. Tell everybody to subscribe to my channel and go comment on a bunch of my videos. And if you haven't already, join my membership because it is awesome. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag.